Here's Prescott. Just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it! Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard. Oh, going deep. It is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today. And we got to talk about this kicker competition because it's weird. We're in a state of flux where we have good moments, but also bad moments, and it doesn't really feel like the Cowboys have the kicker on roster. So before we get any further into this video, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, that'd be greatly appreciated, as it shows support for the channel and also fights against the YouTube algorithm, so that'd be great. Subscribe if you're new. And hit that notification bell as well so you get more Cowboys content as we get through training camp and finally getting to the first preseason games. So, this kicker competition, you know, we have the two guys in Vizcaino and Aubrey going at it to see who is going to be the kicker for the Cowboys this season. Or maybe the kicker is not on the roster. And why would I say that? Well, we've been having some trials and tribulations with both of them. Vizcaino and Aubrey are doing okay in some instances, but also missing in a couple others. For example, you had Vizcaino where he missed kicks from 33 and 45 yards, and then Aubrey was from 43 and 45 yards, but for the most part, in certain situations, they made their kicks. And so that led to us having conversations again, because I know for me, I was like, let's go get Robbie Gould, let's shut this thing down. But then it was like, well, he doesn't want to kick 50-yard field goals, which you might need. I don't know about these other two, but there is another option out there that the Cowboys could look at. But the thing is that we went into the same situation last year. You let go of Greg Zuerlein, right? You tried to go with the young guys. Okay, you tried out Jonathan Garibay. You tried out Lirim Hajrullahu. They didn't work out for you. And so you're like, oh, shit. Like, who else do we have? Brett Maher was out there, so you went signed him. He did good for you until the very end, and you said, we're going to start over at the kicker position. So now you're back to square one. And you go try out Vizcaino. You go see what Aubrey can do from the USFL, and you're getting some information. So there is a discussion where it's like, is there going to be another guy that comes in, like how it was with Brett Maher last year? And there's a name that I'm keeping an eye out on, and that's Mason Crosby, because of his connection with Mike McCarthy from Green Bay, solid veteran kicker. Another name to keep an eye on would be Nick Folk from the New England Patriots. You know, I know he was in Dallas when he started out. He had a falling out, and he's had his moments. He's become a solid kicker there, so if they look like they're going to favor their younger kicker over there, that's another name to keep an eye out on. And realistically, as I mentioned to you guys at the beginning of the offseason, I felt like this was a position of need the Cowboys needed to figure out early on because it was going to dry up quickly. Matt Gay was a guy that I was possibly looking at, but he went to the Indianapolis Colts. You then look at some of these other dudes out there, and it's really like Gould, Mason Crosby, and, you know, a handful of other dudes that you don't really know a whole lot about. And what scares me is that I'm not saying that we need a kicker in the sense of, oh my God, we're not going to be able to score. We need a kicker to kick the extra points. We need him to get the field goals. We need the field goals so that we keep up momentum. You know, we look at the games in the postseason where Brett Maher missed 4 extra points, and then he missed the one in the 49ers game, but he was able to hit the field goals. It makes us want to lose our damn minds. But again, I think what's important about all of this is that the Cowboys have, especially under John Fossil, who's been great with the special teams, he has not had a reliable kicker. Like, we had Greg Zuerlein when he started out. But Greg Zuerlein had his moments, and he really hurt us in many instances, especially in the 2021 season, when he basically was the reason we didn't get the number 1 seed. Just calling it what it is. Then we got to talk about the situation where last year you had Money Maher, where he was doing great, and then you let that. what I don't want this to become is a situation where it's like, okay, we're just going through kickers, which if they do their job, that's great. But I think what's more worrisome is that John Fossil has yet to find a long-term solution at kicker. You know, at punter, you got Brian Anger. He was an all-pro the first go-around, but he's been okay. But you know, the long snapper position, you've gone through a couple guys, so you're good there. But kicker, man. Kicker is such a weird-ass position because I don't know what it is. They just can never figure it out, or we have it, you know. And again, I'm not asking for us to be like, okay, we have to get like the next Justin Tucker or the next Dan Bailey, prime Dan Bailey in Dallas, and hope to God that we get that so we can win. I just need a dude that, I don't care, the 50-plus yard kicks, whatever. Anything in between the 40s, I need you to hit. So you can go get a Robbie Gould if you think Mason Crosby can do it. I just don't want us to pull the trigger late and it screws us over. Because I'm telling you right now, if we do not have a kicker and special teams matter, we are in a world of trouble. Again, if the Cowboys want to go far, they need to make sure that all phases of their team are in order. Offense, defense, and especially special teams. You know, you got the returner, you got the punter, you got the long snapper, but the kicker, we're still figuring that out. And I want to give these guys the benefit of a doubt. You know, I want to see them do well, but it's just we enter a zone where it's like, we might figure out real quickly that we have a kicker. We might figure out really soon we don't have a kicker. But that's where it's on the Cowboys to get the job done. If they don't, we have a serious problem. So let me ask you guys really two questions. The first is, who do you think that you would prefer at this point in time if you had to choose between the two, Vizcaino or Aubrey? Me personally, I would go with Aubrey because he's been a bit more consistent out of the two. Not saying much. Then we got to talk about if those two are not who you want. Like, let's just say the Cowboys say they need to go get an outside kicker. Who would you get? I would most likely look at Robbie Gould, primarily due to the fact that I need a dude that can be consistent in the 40s. And in the 50s, maybe, whatever. But at the same time, you know, I understand a Mason Crosby situation, or I would wait to see what happens with Nick Folk. Maybe bring him back home to Dallas and see what he can do to help us there. That would be funny as hell if Nick Folk comes to Dallas, and that would be great. But I think that's also something the Cowboys are monitoring, is how these teams, like, for all we know, they, you know, a kicker comes available and it's just like, hey, let's go get that guy. So I don't want to, you know, keep going on and on and on and on. So please, by all means, please make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. Tell me down below what you guys think. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.